I've seen a lot of movies this year. Some that are best of 2024 material, some that are worst of 2024 material, but this, it easily takes the cake for the most fucked up movie of 2024. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of Damien Leone's much anticipated follow-up to his gore fests featuring the most sadistic clown ever shown on screen, Terrifier 3. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do. I say it in every damn video. At the end, if you like this review, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. It really helps out the channel. Now let's get into it. Now, if you thought Terrifier 2 pushed the boundaries with its insane levels of violence and gore, you haven't seen this. Damien Leone really said, how far is too far? And then took a pole vault right over that line. Though I will say that nothing in here really surpasses the bedroom scene from the last one. If you know, you know. 5 years after defeating Art the Clown, played once again by the terrifyingly brilliant David Howard Thornton, we pick up with Lauren Lavera's Sienna Shaw, fresh out of the psychiatric ward. It's Christmas time, and she is back in Miles County under the care of her aunt and uncle, played by Margaret Ann Florence and Bryce Johnson, who have a young daughter, Gabby, played by Antonella Rose. Everything should be fine, right? Well, no, of course not, because Art's back. And this time, he's got a new assistant, in the form of Victoria Hayes, the deformed, psychotic survivor from the first movie, played by Samantha Scafidi. Art and Victoria are out for revenge, and they've got Sienna and her brother Jonathan, played by Elliot Fulham, in their sights. And what are they going to do along the way? Well, Art's going to do what he does best. Murder, in the most depraved and creative ways possible. Look, if you're not already a fan of this franchise and its brutal violence with ridiculous amounts of practical blood and gore, this is not going to win you over. They really, and I mean really, push the limits here. Now, like I said at the beginning, though nothing tops the bedroom sequence from Terrifier 2, there's plenty of grotesque and nasty creativity with Art's kills here. Oh, and remember how the previous films, no matter what lines they pushed, had a line where they stayed away from violence against kids, outside of All Hallows Eve, which doesn't really count in this? Yeah, well, that's not the case here. And if that alone sounds like too much for you, I would definitely skip this one. But if you're already a fan of these movies, this is more of the same for better and for worse. Just with a bit more edge and a little more lore sprinkled in there. And it'll definitely leave fans of Art the Clown satisfied. David Howard Thornton proves once again why Art the Clown is pretty much the best serial killer to ever grace the big screen. There's something about his performance. The mix of absolutely gnarly, horrific violence juxtaposed with physical comedy that makes it so damn compelling. He's like a deranged, sadistic mime who is just having the time of his life. And we're all just along for the ride. Now into the other characters, Lauren Lavera is a lot stronger here as Sienna than she was in the last movie. Because honestly, it's impossible not to feel for her. She's been through hell. Outside of her aunt, uncle, cousin, and brother, this psychotic clown has killed everyone she loves, all of her friends and family. And Lavera plays Sienna's trauma and barely hanging on to sanity vibe perfectly. Samantha Scafidi's Victoria is appropriately nasty and grotesque, fully leaning into the madness of her character. She's creepy, unhinged, and just as twisted as Art, which makes for a very unsettling dynamic. Especially one scene when she's watching Art do his thing. I'm not going to say what happens, but I was just laughing in my seat out of pure shock there. Everyone else in this cast, though? Aside from Lavera, Thornton, and Scafidi, the acting here is pretty forgettable. But hey, if you stuck around through Terrifier 1 and 2, you already know that you're not here for Oscar-worthy performances. Where Damien Leone and his crew really thrive are the practical effects, and Terrifier 3 definitely continues that trend. The practical gore here is a thing of, well, horrific beauty. It's nasty, over the top, and at times, almost comical in how depraved it gets. The effects walk a fine line between looking like B-movie splatterhouse and just realistic enough to make you kind of queasy. And just like I said before, Leone brings his dark, twisted sense of humor into a lot of these kill scenes. There are some truly laugh-out-loud moments here that basically come just from Art's performance. If you have a sick and f***ed-up sense of humor, that is. Now when it comes to the story and character development and such, just like the last two films, it leaves a lot to be desired. Don't expect a complex plot or deep character arcs here. There's basically just a thin plot thread here that is an excuse for Art to go on a nasty killing spree. Also, the movie really feels like it's building up to something major, and even though there's a strong climax and ending, it doesn't really deliver on that. Though Leone has already said that Terrifier 4 is coming and that it's supposed to be the epic conclusion to this franchise. So, the lore that's been hinted at throughout the first two films is slightly expanded more here, but it's still not really fleshed out all that much and leaves you with a lot more questions and answers, especially regarding art, where he comes from, and how he keeps coming back to life. And though I appreciate that Leone actually got an editor in there this time and kept it under 2.5 hours with a pretty strong pace, there are several very important plot points or moments that were just kind of skipped over, assumingly to save time. And this isn't a spoiler. Sienna says in the trailer, "I have to go back to the Terrifier."
I have to go back to the Terrifier.
The haunted house from the second movie, and then she says that in the movie, and they completely skip over that, just showing her coming home afterwards. But that's where my complaints end, because this is really an experience for the horror fans, and one that needs to be seen on a big screen with the fullest crowd possible. This is depraved, tasteless, and absolutely glorious for fans of this franchise. It's got everything they'd want. Insane practical gore, dark humor, and David Howard Thornton's ridiculously entertaining performance as Art the Clown. And the added setting of having it be Christmas time in Miles County adds another twisted layer of fun here, one that helps to separate it from the Halloween setting of the first two films. Is it for everyone? Absolutely f***ing not. You have to be into some truly brutal horror and be fine with tons of blood and gore. And if you're not, I would stay far, far away. But if you've been on this wild ride since the first Terrifier and you enjoyed those first two films, you're gonna love this one. This movie is just so nasty through and through, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. So, if you think you can handle it, check it out. But maybe don't eat anything beforehand. Trust me. And that's my review of Terrifier 3. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it at the beginning. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down in the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw this movie and what you thought, and if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. They'll take you to my review of Hellboy the Crooked Man, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews and my shorts. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of Smile 2.